Okay, the idea for this video is just to give you some feedback on some common misconceptions that I saw. I'm not going to hit every slide, just a few slides. First thing I'm going to talk about is levels of organization. Always be careful to read what is being asked of you. In this case, you were asked to identify. A lot of people define what these terms are. I didn't want you to do that. I wanted you to identify. Identify means to give an example of from whatever context you're using. In this case, from the video. So an organism, you should have put like a lion or a water buffalo. A population would be a group of them, a group of lion, okay, or the pride, or a group of water buffalo. A community would be the lion and the water buffalo, and then the ecosystems when you add in the water, the soil, the temperate climate, or the warm climate, etc., etc. So be careful. If you did not get 25 out of 25, you got a 24 out of 25, chances are it's because you defined instead of identify. Let's see. Most people got this, abiotic, biotic. Food is biotic. Even though it might not be living now or when the organism consumes it, it was at one point living, so we usually consider that a biotic factor. As for identifying the different levels, the different niches, you guys did pretty well at that. If you didn't, I probably gave you specific feedback. I was very impressed with food chains and food webs. You guys did a really great job at showing the arrows pointing in the direction that the energy is flowing. My one concern is that there are a few that you kept your food chains separate in the food web. You should notice that they should have crisscrossed all over the place. You should always have your food web has multiple food chains connected, and you should have arrows going every which direction on that one. For the predictions part, if you answered it, I looked for the reasoning. The reasoning was you might have had like positive or negative here, and I would have still given you credit as long as your reasoning behind it was sufficient. Okay, so really quickly, the shape is important when we're talking about energy and energy pyramids. And the reason is because if you notice, as we get closer to the top, we get smaller and smaller and smaller. And there's a reason why we use the pyramid shape. And that's because we lose energy as we go up it. Okay, notice here we have the most energy available for the producers. Okay, at least 24 kcals as your tertiary consumers here. So make sure that you are making that connection with the shape of the pyramid, reflecting the amount of energy that's available. Okay, it decreases as we go towards the top. Also make sure if it's asking for a percentage, you give a percentage. Percentages available, you take the level that you're interested in, like 4,000, and you divide it by the previous available, 25,500. It will give you a decimal, multiply it by 100 to get rid of the decimal point, and that's your percentage. There were quite a few, I'd say half of you left it as just numbers, the raw numbers, and didn't actually answer the question with the percentage. You should have seen that the average percentage was about 10% or 9 point something percent, and that's good. It's never going to be exact because in nature, it's not an isolated system. Another thing that I want you guys to take away is that the lower you are, the more energy you have available. So it's better to be lower in your energy pyramid than higher. Keep that in mind when you are answering your assessment for part 1. So I hope this helps clear up some misconceptions.